Are you ready? Are you set? 'Cause it's time to embrace the Nitwits!
That's right, everybody. It's time to embrace the Nitwits. Welcome back to Nerds Nitwits, episode 11.
Hey!
Heck yeah.
Heyo. How's everybody doing this evening?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Cameron?
I'm feeling great.
That's good.
That's awesome. You
Well-
might be noticing that we only have 4 of us instead of 5. Anthony's not going to make it tonight, which is too bad. But hey, we have a special guest.
Heyo. We'll introduce him later. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. He's hidden like a secret.
Yeah, no, he's just a giant
Yes,
question mark right now.
yes.
It's fantastic.
Perfect.
But it is the first episode of the month, and you know what that means.
The Phantom Forecast.
Ta-da!
Pretty fun.
It is pretty fun. We never decided this ahead of time. We really should start deciding this ahead of time. Who is going first?
I'll go.
You're going first? All right.
Go for it, Cameron.
So I've got just a couple things. Now, the first one, it's not as exciting, but it's cool. Monument Valley. So it's like this puzzle game where you manipulate these monuments to create paths to get to new areas. Monument Valley 1 and 2, which were only on mobile originally, are releasing on the Switch later this month. So that's just a cool little thing. If you guys haven't played those games, if you like puzzle games, they're pretty sweet. I quite enjoy them. But my big thing that I'm quite excited about is April 10th, Crashlands 2 releases. Now, if you haven't played Crashlands, it's literally a game designed for me. Okay? Here's the thing. The developer's name is Butterscotch Shenanigans.
What?
It's amazing. Okay?
Butterscotch
And so
shenanigans.
this whole game is just like, imagine if my thought process was put into writing the story for a game and had no one double checking anything. That's what this game is like. The story, the gameplay, it's like super random, it's super stupid, and I love it. So I personally
That's hilarious.
am quite excited for Crashlands 2. If you haven't played Crashlands 1, you should play it. And if you think you might like what I just described, April 10th, Crashlands 2.
A look into Cam's mind through a game.
Pretty much. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. The other things coming up this month, in case you're wondering, guess what? It's not necessarily super nerdy, but it involves 2 dudes who are in maybe the greatest nerd film franchise of all time. I'm speaking about Lord of the Rings.
Heyo.
Dom and Bill Eat the World is a TV show coming to you through the Food Network, or you can get it on CBC and BBC through free subscriptions provided by the government because socialists. But hey, it's a fun show about eating food with 2 guys
Heyo.
who are making a hobby out of it, or maybe a hobbit hobby.
Oh.
Ooh.
The other things I got for you guys coming up is nothing crazy. April is a little bit of a very plain month for the most of it. Coming out on April 17th, we have Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is making its way to PS5. So if you're a console player with a PS5, boy, are you in for a fun time.
It was
I have
fun
yet to
on
play
Xbox.
on the PC, but I'm very excited for it.
I played it on Xbox.
The Last of Us 2 Remastered is coming to PC. In fact, it's already out. April 3rd, it popped off. So if you're looking to play The Last of Us 2 before the TV show comes out later this year, this is your opportunity to grab it on PC.
Ooh.
Heyo.
Other than that, a couple other things you got rolling around. We had the announcement that Borderlands 4 is officially on the table. So be aware, there's a trailer. That's pretty exciting. And other than that, that's the biggest announcements coming for us in that world. But I'll pass it off to Joel.
For me, I love it when it's me. I'm just kidding. One of the biggest things coming out on the 24th that I am fairly excited about because I love RPGs and I love turn-based games is a game called Claire Obscure Expedition 33. It is a turn-based game with quick time elements, and that sounds like it shouldn't work together. But I'm watching the gameplay trailer. It's so unique to me, and I love it because it works like a turn-based RPG game, but you have to do quick time events and that sort of thing to be able to actually do your attacks and to be able to dodge and do all those sort of things. So you need to be able to do both, which is fun. Basically, the whole plot is that it's like a dystopian world, obviously, and all that kind of stuff. But there is a character called the Paintress who every year she paints a number on her monument. And if you are that age, you're just you're done. You're dead. You're gone. You're wiped from existence.
Oh, dang.
What it is. So the group that you follow and you lead throughout this game are all people that are 33, so they just turned, or 32, 33, something along those lines, and they have basically a year to live. So their whole goal is to track down the Paintress, wipe her out, and stop her from basically killing a certain percentage of the population every single year.
Dang.
So it looks pretty fun. The only other thing is that not an announcement for April, but was made in April, was the fact that we got a Nintendo Direct the other day all about the Switch 2. We finally have a June 5th release date for the Switch 2. Looks so dope. We got an all new Mario Kart, open world Mario Kart game. Ooh. Like, if you've ever played Forza Horizon, it is basically that, but Mario Kart. There's rail grinding, there's all this kind of other stuff. The only downside that people have with it is the price point, because Canadian by itself, it's like $640. With
that sounds like a tariff problem.
Yeah, well, it was cheaper. That is with another $50+ added onto it by Trump from the tariffs.
I knew it.
With Mario Kart World, it's about $710, which is insane. Let us know if you're gonna pick it up though, because we want to know, because that Direct was so dope. A lot of fun announcements made. Looks like a good time.
The only other thing, I guess, announcements for the forecast is that, guess what? The Nitwits have rediscovered what Minecraft is. We've been playing on a Minecraft realm, and you might be ready to see some Nitwits Let's Play where we do all sorts of shenanigans.
You should.
Maybe there's a marathon or lava walking or something. But there's actually another announcement for those of you who know what the episode's about. It's pre-release weekend.
Hey-o.
And we have a guest to come in and talk about it.
Let's
say hello to the very first ever special guest on the Nerds and Nitwits.
Hey-o.
My brother, Steve.
Hi, Steve.
Hello. Great to be here, guys. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
On a Thursday.
You bet.
We love
Yo, Steve, where are you at right now?
Where am I at? Well, I'm at home. Where are you at?
Which time zone are you in, Steve?
Oh, I'm in good old Alberta time right now.
Alberta.
There you go. We have a trans-provincial guest, folks. That's a pretty big deal.
Ronan, heckin' Steve. He's clearly in a chair. He's clearly in a chair. Duh.
Do you actually know anything about Magic the Gathering?
I have been told that allegedly I know at least a few things about the game known as Magic the Gathering.
Wow.
Ooh, nice.
That's pretty
Heck
good. I know nothing about
Steve.
Magic the Gathering.
I don't know if I trust those sources. So I could just feed you guys misinformation. I could just make this all up.
That's what everyone
Folks,
does.
I know
It's
nothing about Magic the Gathering.
Here are Steven's credentials on this. When we were still living with my parents in COVID, he came up to me and he said, "Michael, I think I have a problem." And I said, "What do you mean?" And he said, "I got a message from Magic the Gathering Arena." I was like, "Yeah, what did it say?" And he's like, I have more games played than 99% of people. I have more gold earned than 99% of people, and I have more packs open than 99% of people in the last calendar year." I was like, "Oh my goodness!"
Whoa.
No, it was the last month of the
Sorry,
year.
last month. Even worse.
That's
even worse.
worse.
Like 1 month.
Holy
Crap.
smokes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Still.
you know a thing or two, at least then.
Well, no, just hold on to that thought, Cameron, because even though I was in the top 1 percentile for that month of all the categories. There was one category where I was only in the, I only had more wins than about 50% of the community. So
Well, I
More
mean,
games paid, but only
all
only
that
50%
time
won.
invested, only cracked a few wins, but I had a lot of fun. I could have done better
fair
in
enough.
school, maybe, but
Uh, no,
we're
it's
all
whatever.
we're all
That's
still here,
objective.
Yeah.
allegedly.
Allegedly.
So if you're ever
Yes.
concerned whether he has a life or not, there you go, folks.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're
Amazing.
dealing with somebody that has absolutely no life. I say that
Well,
because Anthony
yeah.
said that to me
Gotten
in
better.
our server the other day.
That is
So,
one of the greatest quotes from one of the greatest South Park episodes ever. It's
Steve
so funny.
and Michael, you guys both are fairly versed in Magic. As sets go, what do you think, just in general, of the new Tarkir Dragonstorm set and precons?
Well, I feel like Steve and I are probably going to align on a couple of things here. One being, it's nice to have a Magic the Gathering original IP. This is not some skinned version of something else. I really enjoyed Foundations. I thought that was a wonderful set, great to get new players in, and I think Tarkir Dragonstorm is along those same lines.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't like lumping myself in with any particular group of extreme purists. But I find myself lumped in with this particular group of extremist purists when it comes to the magic sets. Nothing necessarily against the universes beyond stuff and branching out into
Mm.
new mediums. Every property
Mhm.
has to grow. Um, but I liked where we were at, so it's nice to come back to where we were at and have a magic set. Um,
Nice.
if the last thing I'll say on the universes beyond stuff is if they all ended up being, I was worried about the SpongeBob one. I was worried when I heard about that, but then when I saw it, I was like, okay, it's because it was just SpongeBob skins on existing magic cards,
Yeah.
and they were
Yeah.
hilarious. So if the universes beyond set were secret layers like that, maybe I wouldn't find myself in the category of individuals that I am, but here I am.
Fair enough.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
Final Fantasy looks cool, but I never played the Final Fantasy games, so it never
Yeah,
really hit
I
home with
did.
me. I've never played Warhammer 40K. The decks were cool. Um, Lord of the Rings, of course, being the exception.
Greatest selling Magic set of all time.
Yeah, I
Which
can't
is
really say too
kind
much
of
bad about
awesome.
that one, except I will say that Orcish Bowmasters is stupid, and I refuse to pay for it.
I tried to get that card from my deck, and then I found out it was $80. I went, ha, nope.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's on the
So
yeah,
cheap
no, I was
side.
looking at a bunch of deck lists, and they're like, run 4 of them. I'm like, no.
now
Not a chance.
Joel
Yeah.
and also myself, as Magic fans, but lesser experienced. What do you and I think about the new set?
Do you want me to give your opinion? You want to give my opinion? No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I think I didn't look too hard. I like going in blind to a lot of these sets. I know like everybody likes doing their research and
Mm.
everybody likes knowing what's coming in. The only like I've seen like maybe actually looked at maybe 4 cards from the set coming up that was like that I actually like read and looked at in detail. I was like, you know what? This looks pretty dope. But oh my gosh, does this open up a lot of doors for a lot of decks? So like there's what is
Yeah.
it? Oh, Dracogenesis, is that what it's called or whatever? It's basically the rooftop storm for dragons, where it just lets you cast dragons for free.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, that's great.
Dragon Mission.
Yeah, and then there was another one that was like that, and there was another card I can't remember what it was, but it basically made the Tiamat card from the Dungeons and Dragons set like skyrocket to $75 because it got so popular because of the set coming out. I love it because I love dragons. Like, I'm a dragon guy. If you ever into my apartment, there is like just dragons in my kitchen. There's
Yep.
dragons on my bookshelf. There's dragons in my. There's not one in the bathroom. Surprisingly, I should fix that.
This is all
Uh,
true.
There's Dragon D's nuts.
Sorry, that's on the Nerds and Nitwits After Dark page. But anyways,
Oh my goodness.
you started it. You started it. Overall, though, like I think it's cool. I think it's cool that there's 5 precons for the different dragon tribes that are represented and stuff. I read about some of the dragon tribes, thought it was really cool. I'm looking forward to it releasing tomorrow, and I'm hoping I can pick up the what is it, the Tapper Roar? It's the ramp deck.
Well,
yeah.
the release isn't tomorrow.
The pre-release
You'll have to
is
wait till the
tomorrow.
11th
Pre-release
for
is
that.
tomorrow.
The pre-release is tomorrow, so you could pick
Yeah.
up a themed pre-release pack, which I highly recommend doing. If anyone hasn't played a sealed format, I highly recommend them. They're a lot of fun.
We can
Yeah.
pick up
That's
decks
what we should
tomorrow
do.
because our local game stores have like the where they're not chain companies, so they get them during the pre-release, not during the official launch.
Yep.
We've
Yeah.
had this conversation with 3 Goblins in Game Quest, and I love it so much because I'm like, these sets don't actually technically release for another 2 weeks or a week, and I'm like, I'm playing them a week early.
Yep.
Yep.
So I can't wait for that. So I'm gonna try and get them
However,
tomorrow.
A lot of them are spoken for because people have ordered in.
There's
especially,
a lot of pre-orders.
The Yeskier one, or with the
Yeah.
infinite 2-card combo, sitting at
I-
149.
I think at the very least we should try to get the pre-release bundles, and we could totally do like a pre-release stream where we do the
Oh, yeah.
pre-release thing. So
That
I
would
would
be
be
pretty
down for
dope.
that this weekend.
I would be down for that.
Keep an eye out on the Discord and
Yeah,
the Instagram to see if we're doing that.
It's true.
100%.
But yeah, I think I like sets for how they play for sure, but I also I will buy cards just because I like the way they look. Let's put it that way.
Fair.
And this is a set that looks like I could end up spending a fair amount of money on cards just because I like the way they look.
Fair enough.
Especially those
lots of cool
dragon
things.
arts.
The full art lands, first of all, are probably the coolest full art lands I've seen, or at least some of the coolest ones. Like the dragon shadows on the land,
They're
super
gnarly.
cool idea. As well as that, like the what do they call them? The dragon's eye lands. I also think are a really cool idea. But yeah, there's just so many cards in this that, just by how they look alone, I'd probably be willing to pay money for. But then, yeah, when it comes to dragon decks, if you're a dragon deck builder, like there's a few things I've come across that seem like they would be a game changer for your deck. So if you like dragons, it's a good month for you.
If you play dragons, I hate you.
That stems right back to the start of Magic for Michael and I. The very first deck I ever built was a dragon deck because I love dragons. So I'm very excited for this.
Do you know what set that was?
When I started,
Yeah.
We started around the
I
Emon
started
set.
during Amonkhet. That was what had come out when I started. So Dragons of Tarkir had just rotated out of standard, but was still readily available at stores and stuff. So it's nice for me to be coming back to buying dragons out of boxes. So
Yeah.
I'm stoked for this set. A couple of cards that really kind of caught my eye. The first one that caught my eye, I believe I sent a picture of it to Jules. The
probably.
Sibsig Ritual.
Oh, here, let me find it. It's right here.
Yeah.
Rolling.
Oh baby, we got visuals.
There it is.
This card, it just is so cool to me. One, the art is gorgeous. Two, triple black enchantments have a soft spot in me for nostalgic reasons that I'm sure will come to episode. But this card looks like a very cool build around for me in probably moderns where I'll build it, and I'll stick it into some reanimator decks. It doesn't immediately look like it'll break the game, and it probably won't unless you get real lucky with some draws. And I like cards like that. I don't like cards that you play it and everyone's like, okay, well, that's the game. That's no fun to me. I want there to be a chance I'll lose, which is probably why I had a very poor win percentage. The chance of
Oh,
me
fair.
losing is very high. But so yeah, the Sig Sig ceremony, three black creatures you can legendary enchantment spells you control cost two less to cast. That's wild to me because I love inefficient, overcosted creatures, and this will help me do that faster. But then they immediately die. What good is that
It's true.
outside of the odd ETB that you can stack? You could stack Gary's ETB before he leaves, I guess. But I love Reanimator, and so my stuff automatically dying is no problem to me. So
Okay.
Because
this
you're a
will be going
zombie
in my
player.
Reanimator decks.
Okay.
Zombie player.
So before
Yeah.
we get too far into new cards, new sets, all that kind of thing, for the people who have never in our chat or in our viewership that have never played Magic before, how would you describe Magic to them in your own words?
Oh,
Like the concept of
Stephen
Magic or the
Michael
game
specific,
Magic
like
the
the
Gathering?
game Magic the Gathering.
Oh, okay.
I would say it's like Pokemon, but better in every way. That would be my simple description. If you've played Pokemon, the trading card game, Magic is more fun and there's more complexity to it, but I feel like that complexity adds to it in a really, really good way.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, I think Magic is the OG. It's the first sort of big card game that came out. Like Pokemon has elements based off of it. Yu-Gi-Oh is based off of it. Digimon
Yeah.
is based off of it. Bakugan is based off of Magic the Gathering in different formats. And I think it's a classic that they continue to build new aspects onto. And there's formats for all sorts of people. If you want a board game-esque style with more table politics, Commander is great. If you want to fire off and play a couple quick rounds at an affordable level, Pauper is great. You want to stick up with the meta and do that season style aspect that happens in video games like Fortnite and stuff, then you want to play standard. If you just want to hang out with people, play kitchen table style. There's so much, and I think it is one of the most explorable games out there because yeah, there's a meta and there's but there's so much room for you to find a strategy that you like to play.
Fair enough.
I agree with that. I'd say that Magic, much like Dungeons and Dragons, is however you want it to be. It is a game based in cards, which inherently speaks to me. I love playing cards, not just Magic, cards in general. I'm all over that. But it's as complicated as you want it to be. It's as simple as you want it to be. It's as direct. It's as sneaky. There's so much of it out there. It's been around for so long. You can do almost anything you want. It might not be successful. You might not
Yeah.
win, but maybe that's not what you were going for. And you just wanted to do that one. Maybe you wanted to cast the card Dingus Staff. And if you successfully cast Dingus Staff, you win in your own heart.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's me, my
I think part
Sauron
of the
deck for sure.
part of the other fun of it is that they don't take themselves too seriously. Like if you love things that are willing to make fun of themselves, the unsets are hilarious. Steven, can
good.
you tell us about the
Yeah.
cheese stands alone?
The cheese stands alone, man. I have wanted to build that into a deck as for years. It's an enchantment with an alternate win condition, which right away I'm gonna pour all my resources into this janky alternate win condition and lose. Because that's what I do when I see alternate win conditions. But you know what? Whatever. So if the cheese stands alone is the only thing you got on the field and you have no cards in hand, like you have nothing except if the cheese is standing alone, you
Yep.
win. The meat, however, has frequent visitors, is the flavor text on the card. And the card is just this like this wedge of cheese with a massive face, two arms and two legs, standing by himself. And it was so popular that they actually printed it into playable black bordered Magic. And they called it Barren Glory, but it is effectively just the cheese stands alone.
Love
So
that.
Nice.
Yes, it
Yeah.
has been tempting players to sink games into it for years, and it's never going to stop because
Hey,
it
man.
is so silly.
Sometimes you just need to embrace the jank to deliver the spank. Am I right?
100%, as the
I
kids
knew it.
say.
I knew it.
But
Cam, have a
yeah,
thought.
yeah.
I did not. Sorry, I just noticed they did reversible dragon cards in this set, where the dragon is like it's the baby form and then like the adult form on like the
Oh,
front and
yeah.
the back.
Yes.
That is a
The
really
Ugin
cool
one looked a
idea.
little weird to me, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that
really
one does
cool.
look weird.
But this is
who,
definitely going to be something that embraces a lot of dragons, and there's going to be quite a bit of zombies as well. So get used to taking 6 in the sky and then a reanimation spell later.
I don't want to.
there's been a lot. I've been watching a lot of different content creators playing mostly Commander with these cards, and yeah, if someone's in the Sultai colors, which is blue, black, green, there's gonna be graveyard shenanigans and zombies puked all over the field. And if
That is
they're
that
gonna
is
do
the
a bunch of
accurate
it,
term.
they're gonna do a bunch of it all in one turn. It looks like they might get a little here, a little there, but these aren't white players, guys. They're not taking it slow and fair where you can see it from a mile away. No, they're coming out of the mud all
Yeah.
at once. You better like it because it's there. It looks. I have a Sultai deck I could talk about later, and it's not quite that style, but yeah, oh, it looks like a lot of fun.
Yep.
Salta is actually, I thought it was going to be the color combination I was most excited for coming up, but I'm actually finding myself in the Abzan excitement. I did pre-order the Abzan Commander deck.
And what color is
Uh,
that, Steve?
oh yeah, sorry, that is white, black, green.
Ooh.
Um, and then the Mardu, which is the white, black, red, a very aggressive clan. That one, I'm planning on pulling a Mardu based pre-release. The Mardu actually, they one of the extras they added in the set. They've been adding extras in these sets since well, for quite a while now. The special guest list they call it. The special guest list for this set is a lot smaller than it has been, but I don't mind. I believe it's just 5 cards. It is the 5 ultimatums,
Oh
which
yeah.
are just big spell, do big thing, and I love it. The one that just spoke to me the most is the Mardu one. It's I believe I sent it to Joel there. It's the Ruinous Ultimatum.
I do have that one. Here it
This
comes.
the Emergent Ultimatum I played with
Ooh.
when it was in Standard
See, that's just a pretty
quite a
card
bit,
to me.
but this art
Yeah.
just got my
Super
brain.
metal.
It looks
Yeah.
so cool, man. It just fires me up. I want to build a deck to cast this. I don't care about the ramifications. Unfortunately, I'm probably going to have to pay a lot of money for this art of it, but such is the way.
Most likely.
The only problem I see with this card is it's very communist in nature. Strength comes from community. I don't know. I don't know if
Oh
I can
my
play this card
word.
anymore.
Oh my
You
word.
could.
It's too red as well. Like there's too
Oh
much
my
red
word.
emphasis.
It's
I
literally
think
red and
red.
green. Neither of you guys can even see it properly.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's red. Shut up, Cameron.
It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. There's a big dragon. He's moving fast, and he's going to eat you. And everyone you love and all your permanents on the board are gone. So
Beautiful.
I've seen whenever this card gets played against me, I never feel bad. I appreciate its effect because for what you're paying, it's absolutely fair. I believe and I'm excited to play that particular art of it. It's just beautiful. The Emergent Ultimatum, another beautiful art. Um, they're all beautiful arts, but
Yeah.
but the Ruinous Ultimatum stands out to me in that bunch for sure.
Fair enough.
Well, I
All
think
right.
with a lull here, how did we all get into Magic and why did we keep playing? I think there's a lot of folks who in our chat who aren't familiar with it, and it's not that this is a plug or something, but how did we start playing and What are you pointing at me for?
You are the reason why I started playing.
Oh yeah,
If you
that makes
are
sense.
in the chat and you do play, let us know what you started playing from too.
Yeah, like
Oh, and what your favorite colors are.
I started playing because of Michael. Like I don't even remember how we started either. Like we
Oh, I remember. It was COVID, and I had just moved to the camp to work.
Yeah.
And you guys were sitting at a table, and you were like, "There was some promo. These magic cards are cheap, so I got them." And I was like,
Oh,
"Oh,
that's
you play
right.
Magic?" And you were like,
Right.
"No." Like, we could play Magic. And my decks proceeded to destroy the
Yeah.
out of the box
The pre-cons.
little dumpy standard deck that you had.
Yeah, that was right. That was after it was post COVID because that was after I came back to camp. So that was 2022.
Yeah.
That was after, that was when I moved back to
Yeah.
when I moved back to camp that we started doing that, and because I had never bought Magic cards before that. Yeah, I blame Michael. I don't know. See, I don't know what my favorite colors are. I think if you were to ask Michael and Anthony, they would say black and red, but that's probably true as well. I like
I find people don't realize what their favorite colors are. It's everyone else who sees what your favorite colors are.
Like I like the concept of green and red. I like the concept of green. I like the swing of red. So I like the concept of green and red. But most of my decks, I'm realizing, are like black as the main color and something else, black and red or black and blue or black and green.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cameron, how'd you start?
I mean, how I started originally was, I don't know, I was like, I don't even know, 15, maybe younger, probably younger, 12. And my stepdad had a bunch of Magic cards that he just gave to us because he was never going to play it again. So yeah, me and some friends, we played way back then a little bit. We never really bought more. So it was mostly like I think it was 10th edition Dragons of Tarkir, the other Cons of Tarkir, those sets I think, and then I didn't touch it for years and years and years, and then working at camp and you guys are all playing, then I know, and I'm like, no, I don't want to get into this. I don't want to spend this money, and then I get an ad on Instagram for the Fallout deck. And that was it. There was zero chance. I bought 3 out of the 4 decks. That was hundreds of dollars. That month I spent $600 on Magic cards.
Oof.
And my collection since then has gone from like, I don't know, 300 cards from 2015 to like over 3,000 in a year or two-ish years later.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And we've been eating rad counters from Mothman ever since.
It's true.
Yeah, heck yeah.
It was really. I'm fine.
And my favorite colors are, I would say, and this is definitely like the science deck is this. I think the energy, creative energy as well from Modern Horizons 3, which I did buy, same color, but yeah, blue, red, white. I really like the combination. Mostly blue and white, but I do find red is a good add to it.
Fair enough.
It's funny because I think you're very chaotic, and blue and white symbolize following the law and the ledger, which is not you.
Yeah.
I'm also realizing that we only really ever played like standard when Michael, Anthony, and I started playing. It took over a year before I first played a commander deck. Like it took a long time for me to play commander.
Yeah. Steven and I started around the same time. We had this same nerdy idiot friend named Sam who almost got mono from his sister. Tell that story later. He's a big, huge Magic guy. We're sitting there. Allegedly, they shared glasses. Tell me how that works. So we're sitting there, and he's like, "Yo, you guys need to play Magic." And I was like, "I don't know. It seems pretty nerdy." And he's like, "Dude, you play Yu-Gi-Oh!" And we're like, "Fine, okay." And that was it. And then we started playing, and we had some buddies, Colin, another guy who I've mentioned in D&D podcasts. He played, and so we just started playing kitchen table style 60-card decks, and had a blast. I discovered my love for green. Green is best green, and black is second best green. But as some of the other people in this chat will say, Michael plays far too much blue and kills souls with his 2 untapped mana.
Yeah.
This last game we just played the other day, and Michael killed me with untapped mana. He didn't let me play a single card I wanted to.
He was playing the new Ether Drift deck, and those zombies come out fast. And it's not my fault that I saw the big packages coming to the table, and I said no. That's not my
I
fault.
just
That's
wanted to
called
play the first
that's called,
opportunity to play Rooftop
that's
Storm.
called peacemaking. That's what the United States did in Afghanistan, bro.
I just wanted to play Rooftop Storm.
Oh.
Just wanted to
What
play.
about you, Steve?
Well, like Michael alluded to, our good buddy old Sammy Diedrichs did have a major role in my Magic the Gathering. So we were at a youth group event, and it was at this board game cafe. And one of the guys by the name of Christopher Litchell,
Mm.
he came back. He had gone up to get I think just a drink, a root beer or water or something, and he came back and he sat down and he tossed 4. They used to have these intro little packs that stores could give away for free. We were at this board game cafe, and they'd just given them to Chris, and he said, "I don't know why they gave them to me. I don't know what to do with them. Who wants them?" And he tossed them on the table, and immediately my brain went, cards. Cards, gotta play cards. I don't hang around casinos, but Michael and I played Yu-Gi-Oh growing up. We got a bunch of cards from our cousin Douglas, and
Yep.
we just had so many good memories of playing cards. We didn't really know how to play, but we played with those cards until they were ashes. And I wish we had some of them were worth a lot of money now.
Yeah.
I saw these cards and I saw a chance to get back into that style of game that I had missed for a long time because it's been quite a few years since we played. And I knew that Sam knew how to play, and Sam was there. And I handed one to Sam, and I picked up the other, and I said, "Sam, teach me how to play Magic right here, right now." We're pulling out of, I think we were all playing apples to apples or something. And Sam and I pulled out, and there was another guy too. He didn't stick with it, I don't think, but Sam was teaching me the basics. And the next week I skipped youth group and I went back to the board game cafe with those cards, and I played Friday Night Magic with a couple of random guys who would then continue to help me. And then I popped in for the end of youth group to hear what happened, so that when my parents asked what happened at youth group, I could
remember
tell them
that.
what happened at youth group without them actually asking was I there and involved. Worked out fairly smoothly. Sam kind of got back into Magic after that and started playing. And one of the cards that's near and dear to my heart, forever and a day. I lost this card time and time again. Every time I played it, I sent Joel a picture of it. It's a triple black enchantment called Underworld Dreams.
It sucks.
It's,
Right there.
This card, this art specifically for it.
Can I just throw out
Sam-
a PSA? Gecko guy, don't you dare. I do not want to see this from you, Gecko guy. No.
So what you're saying is I should put this in my zombie deck.
I thought about putting it in my card draw deck and just making you draw cards, and then I didn't.
I like
I
that.
put this
No.
card in
No, you don't, Cameron.
almost everything I can because it just means so much to me. This is the card that when Sam played this for the first time, he cast Dark Ritual and played this turn 1. I was like, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen. That is the coolest thing anyone's ever done to me. And I just lost to this card over and over again. And it drove me to build my decks better. It drove me to figure out how to defeat it. And of course, the only one I had to practice with was Michael. So I drove Michael to keep playing with me. He wasn't quite sold at first and straight out the gate, I was a little better than him because I was playing it with all these different people all these different times, and he was only playing a little bit. And that kind of irked him a bit as my older brother. He liked being better at games than I am. He's better at most games than me. So that pushed him to get better. And we played more and got more into it. And yeah.
Nice.
I would say red is best red. Red is my favorite color. I love red. Black is very, very close. Red's here. Black is like here. Um, green, I enjoy in conjunction with black. Um, green red is said to be the small, smooth brain, big smash smash. And I'm somehow terrible at building green red decks for the life of me. I cannot.
That's true.
It just does not click with my head somehow. I'm I'm a intelligence level below it, I guess. But I also like splashing white in a bunch of stuff. I like a white red combination. I like playing aggro. I like playing aggro, but I also like a little bit of mid range every now and then.
So, our
Yeah.
good friend Mr. Pundit also likes playing aggro.
What?
If it, the
No.
joke was growing up, if it takes patience, Steven's not playing.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But we had a good question actually coming here from the Gecko guy. What do you think of what is that?
Narrative Heart of the Storm.
Narrative Heart and Storm versus Narrative Crackling Vanguard. Steve, what do you think?
Those in the new precon or
I don't know.
set or
Art and Storm. I'm
Well,
going to
look it
stall
up.
for time and pretend that I'm not looking up these cards.
Oh, we can pretend we're not looking up these
Where,
cards.
what set are they from, Gecko guy?
But yeah, we played all kinds of formats. A good couple star battles. Typically, our group right now here in PG plays Commander, and maybe we'll go in a little bit of that later. Some of the decks we like, some of the strategies we like. But Steve, have you found it?
Yeah, I found one. I'm gonna confirm I know what the other one does.
So-
Yes. Okay.
Oh,
So
perfect.
this brings me to something that I got distracted from. The new Spirit Dragons from the set. Let's talk about the new Spirit Dragons.
Let's do it.
The Crackling Vanguard one seems really good. The Heart of the Storm, actually, the Heart of the Storm one is the one of those two that I'm more excited for. They are for everyone watching. They're the Mardu Spirit Dragon narrative. That's who this is, and it is aggro. It is nothing but aggro. It
Great
is
gas.
unapologetically aggro. Gas, gas, gas. No break.
All
All
gas.
gas.
You know it. Full choke.
And I love it. Haste creatures, self-sacrificing haste creatures, in conjunction with the Zergo from the main set, who makes it so you don't have to sacrifice the token. Man, I'm building that in some way. That's actually why I'm going that route for the pre-release, is to just start bleeding tokens all over the board, and
Nice.
not actually have to sacrifice them.
Yeah.
The Spirit Dragon that I'm most excited for is the Abzan ones, the Baator Kin to All. He's the main set one. Very defender toughnessy. I've been a fan of Duran the Siege Tree for a while. Siege Tree, Siege Tower. He's a tree. He cares about toughness. I will be building a Baator Kin to All Toughness Matters deck based with pulling a bunch of cards from the precon, the Abzan precon there. I'm gonna call it Big Bottoms, and
Sounds like a Queen song.
well, it's a Spinal Tap song actually.
Oh, there you go.
Big
That's
Bottoms,
right.
Big Bottoms. Talk about bum cakes. My deck's got 'em. But
Weird.
the first deck I am going to be building that's not as straightforward is the other Baator, the one that comes in the precon. It's a kind of a life loss, life gain. I'm taking it in a reanimation aspect for his second ability. I believe I sent a picture
Oh, which one's
of
that
that
one?
one. It's the big dragon, shiny big dragon. I can't remember what he does
You might
off
have
the
to
top
be
of my
more
head.
specific
What's it
with this.
called again?
It's called Baator.
Oh, Baator.
Um,
There it is. That's Bumble. Whoop.
Baator.
That's Mrs. Bumbleflower. I want Baator. There it is. It's up and running there. 3-5.
Yes. Ancestors
Ooh.
voice. Flying
Yep.
that one's kind of, yeah, okay, I'll put a few +1 counter synergy things in there, but the main focus is going to be the return up to one target creature card with mana value lesser than or equal to the amount of life you've lost this turn to the battlefield. If there's one thing I'm good at in Magic, it is ignoring what my life total is, and this card rewards me for doing so. I can hurt myself today to see if I still feel, and then I can bring my buddies back from the dead with that necrotic energy. So
Heck yeah.
if you understood half those words, you're a nerd.
Johnny Cash.
Which means
that
you're in the right place.
yes,
It's
yes,
true.
welcome, welcome.
If you don't understand
yeah,
any
so
of
this
those words,
dragon-
that means you're a nitwit, which means you're also in the right place.
Oh, win-win.
Ronan's a nitwit.
I'm going to be pulling this guy out of the pre-con, building him in a different direction. Those are the Sultai Spirit Dragons. They are also very cool, but not quite the direction I like to go with Sultai. I've got a nice Uldrotha, the Gravetide deck, and that's about
Yeah.
as Sultai as I like to go. I'm not a fan of blue. I understand why Counterspell exists. I get it.
Doesn't mean we have to like
If
it.
I were to have made Magic the Gathering, I would have also put Counterspell in it. Counterspell makes me mad.
I like it.
Yes,
It's legal
dude.
in all formats.
I hate that it's
When-
legal in all formats.
It's
When
right up there with
someone-
Ristic Study. Pay the one, sucker.
When someone, I would rather have that than someone just tell me, no, you don't get to play the game.
And not even
I wanna
once,
play the game.
multiple
I came to play the
times.
game.
Multiple
I came-
times.
To take my card out of my hand and put it on the field. Yeah, okay, that Counterspell art, I respect. I respect.
Can
that
we-
So
counter-
good.
Can somebody clip that? I just want to play the game. That would be perfect for so many things.
If
Counterspell
not,
is
I'll clip it
fucking
later.
goofy. I hate it. Bounce. Okay, at least I can play it again. Bounce is really annoying. But if I get to play my guy, if he resolves, if my stupid vanilla creature that does nothing resolves and you kill it with Fatal Push, that's a legal game action. That's fine. That's fair. I played a guy and you killed him. If you counter my guy, I didn't get to play him. I wanted to play him. Let me play the Bog Stomper. I just want to do it.
At least twice this week, Michael did that to me.
It is,
Oops.
You feel about this like Tim feels about Among Us.
Yeah, yeah. That's for
Ugh.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But with all of that said, we've thrown around a lot of words, so just to take some time, we talked about Commander, we talked about Standard, Modern, all these things. Commander is a format. There's 100 cards. It's actually called Highlander Commander, Elder Dragon Highlander, after the wonderful fictional cult classic Highlander. Great
Greatest
movie.
corny 80s action movies of all time.
It has a soundtrack by Queen. It's stellar. But the idea is that, what's the famous line, Steve?
There can be only one. I'm probably going to get
Exactly.
copyrighted for that, but the
Nah.
copyright's actually the reason it's called Commander officially on Wizards products, I believe. Anyways, I didn't look into
Yeah.
that, but it's kind of the tagline for the movie. The
Yeah.
reason they call it Elder Dragon Highlander, the tagline, there can be only one. Commander is a singleton format. You are only allowed one copy of each card in your deck, whereas other formats you can have up to 4, with the exception of basic lands. Basic lands, they're basic. They're just there. You can have as many as you want. But
So, yeah,
You could put
Elder
in
Dragon
70.
Highlander, yeah, you can do that. I wouldn't, but you can. The Elder Dragon part comes from the card that is your commander. He's not in your hand, and you can play him over and over again as long as you can afford it. Originally, it had to be one of the Elder Dragons, one of the original Elder Dragons from the set Legends. Thus the Elder Dragon Highlander. Then they said you could be any legendary creature. So that was nice
So
of them. I
that's
appreciated that.
also the reason behind the 21 commander damage thing, right? So for those of you who
Yeah.
don't know, maybe there's regular damage, but then if you get damage from someone's commander, that's commander damage, and you can take
Yeah.
way less commander damage than regular damage. You can only take 21, and then you're out. And so the reason for that, I believe, is that uh, if Michael wasn't lying to me, was that all the original Elder Dragons all were 7/7 creatures, which means if you took 3 hits from someone else's Elder Dragon commander, you were out of the game.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I'm
Yep.
learning things tonight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then when
Which
they
makes
let
it
other
fun.
legends be the commander, they're like, "Whoa, crap! They're not all the same."
Because the rule used to be 3. It used to be just 3 hits, you dead, and then
it's
Yeah.
21. So
Yeah.
that's where they got that
Yeah.
number from. Commander's a fun format. I enjoy it. It's probably the most. No, I think it is the most popular form
Yeah.
to play Magic the Gathering. Very casual, but it's also
Based,
not very casual at the same time.
yeah,
based alone on what all the new sets seem to cater to, Commander is definitely seemingly the most popular.
It
Yeah.
also helps that if you look through it, a lot of sales come in the form of commander because people are buying single cards. They make more money
Mm,
off of those commander decks because it's also
Mm.
100 cards. The commanders are
Right.
legendary. It allows you to print higher things because normally, Stephen, with that, we talked about the copies in a 60 card format deck. How many copies are you allowed?
You're allowed 4 copies.
But
That's this many.
how many legendary creatures with the same name are allowed to be on the field at a time?
Just one. He's legendary.
So if you play a second creature with the same name, they're both legendary, the first one dies, right?
No, you get to pick which one.
Oh, you
One
get
of
to
them.
pick. Yeah,
One
one of
of
them
them
has to
has
die
to
though.
die. You have to
So
sacrifice it. So
yeah,
some people take advantage of that. There's crafty people out
there
there.
are. But it
Little
means that you
rats.
generally don't have like 4 copies of one legendary creature in your deck because you don't want to get stuck with a bunch of them in a hand and then only be able to play one creature.
Well,
So
unless you're me.
yeah. So
Or
Commander caters more so
really
to the
good.
singles, as well as now the precons. Now that they've actually gotten good enough to play against homemade decks, that has also helped.
mm,
Now,
yeah.
we've been talking up our homemade decks like we're some ultra uber deck builders, and Commander is a lot of fun for deck building. I get a lot of
Yeah.
pleasure out of building decks. Maybe not the best decks, but Commander is a great place to brew a lot of ideas that maybe in more competitive formats, when you go to an LGS for FDM event, you might feel bad because you just lose every single game because you wanted to play this and it's just trounced by whatever the meta is. Like modern, you don't have as much brewability that you can that can stand on its own.
Mm.
Pauper's the other good brewing place these days,
Yes.
especially right now. It's kind of been shaken up by the latest cycle of bans. So
What is
everybody,
Pauper, Steve?
what's that?
Oh,
What is
yeah.
Pauper? What is Pauper?
Pauper is another format of Magic the Gathering, and like Commander, it has certain rules you have to abide by when creating your deck.
Like
You
what?
can play counterspell. I don't think you should, but you can. You can play spell stutter sprite. I don't think you should, but you can. And the reason you can play those, you can also play lightning bolt. The reason being, you're only allowed to play cards that were printed at least once at the slot of common. Yes, Cameron?
Is Popper Commander a thing?
Yes.
Yes. It is
I want to
not.
play that.
It's not
I
very
do
fun.
too. The issue with it is
Takes
not a lot of
forever.
people have decks built for it, and so I don't find anyone to play with. Otherwise, I would play it a lot more because it's even
Yeah.
better for brewing your bad ideas.
It
Popper
allows you
Commander,
to embrace the jank to deliver the spank, is what we're saying.
absolutely to the nines, the full yardage for our American friends, because with Popper Commander, you're not limited to legendary creatures. Your commander can be any uncommon creature ever printed. Doesn't have to be legendary.
Ooh.
The other singleton rules still apply and all that, but there's a lot of non-legendary uncommons that have stupid brewability,
Yes.
and it just seems like a
Interesting.
real good idea to me. But regular Pauper is a standard 60 card format. You don't have to have 60 cards. 60 card is the minimum you can have in your
Yes.
deck. You can have more if you want, depending on your strategy. Only cards that were printed at common. If a card was printed at a common in one set and an uncommon in another, you can still play it, and you can still use the uncommon printing if that's all you have in your collection,
Yeah.
or
Nice.
if it's fancier and you like it better.
Huh.
My favorite Pauper deck that I've been playing for quite a while now is my mono black control deck. It's not really a control deck in the traditional sense, because control is slow and I'm bad at it. So
Yeah.
I put a few more aggressive elements that help me to control the pace of the game and try and overpower my opponents slower than burn, which is amazing. I like burn.
Yeah. Yeah.
I gave Joel a bunch of burn spells to put on a slide because I also play burn in modern.
I do like
Modern is
burn
another
decks.
format
Burn decks are
of Magic the
fun.
Gathering. Modern is a very popular tournament competitive format. It is quite expensive,
Yes.
as I have grown to realize, is that's what they play in the town I live in right now, Fort McMurray. They play a lot of modern, and so I've been
Yeah.
buying one. I
Okay.
built a modern black control deck. We can throw that slide up later.
Steve,
But
how much did it cost you?
Oh boy.
I tried to go, what?
How much did it
Oh
cost
boy.
you?
Um, well, you
Your
see,
fiance's not watching. It's okay.
she knows.
how how
She
about how
saw
about
the.
this? How about this? How much did your mono black popper deck cost you, Steve?
Oh boy,
Whoa.
my
Isn't
mono black
Popper
popper deck wasn't
cheap?
even $12.
Yeah, there you go. I thought you were gonna say something crazy there.
That's why I like. Well, I've been looking at getting the original printings of all the cards, which would be over $100 because I have a bunch of cards from Arabian Nights in there,
Oh yeah.
mainly Oubliette, and
Is that not one of the like oldest sets? Is that the
yeah,
first set?
it was the first
Yep.
expansion,
Yep.
Okay, wow.
which is why they're the 25-cent common Kumbaj witches. If I want
Yes.
the Arabian Nights printing, it's like $20 each.
Yeah, I did
Or,
not go
well,
for
not
those
quite
when I
20
got
bucks,
the Kubog witches.
but yeah, so but Pauper is by far the least expensive format to get into, which is another reason why I love it, because I can
It's so
buy
fun.
cards and brew more decks, and I don't feel bad about it. Whereas Modern, I've got my decks, and I feel really bad if I want to buy another one. So
Yeah.
my Modern Burn deck is by far the cheapest of the bunch,
Yeah.
because burn spells are readily available. Lightning Bolt is a hell of a drug,
I love lightning
and it's
bolt.
wonderful. And I love
True.
Lightning Bolt. Probably my favorite Magic card ever printed is Lightning Bolt. Michael bought me a blanket with Lightning Bolt printed on it
Yes,
one
I did.
Christmas,
Nice. Love
Yep.
it.
Yeah.
and
So,
I like that
Steve,
blanket.
we
Yep.
we do have a question directed to you from Gecko Guy, and he says, "Does Nicole Bolas the Ravager look like a fun commander to play, considering the new set?"
Nicol Bolas the Ravager. That's the flip walker?
I do not
I
know.
mean,
Gecko Guy,
you
would you
pull
like to
that up.
provide more information?
I have a book about Nicol Bolas.
Ooh.
He's a wonderfully
Oh
evil,
yes,
one
yes,
of the
that is,
top evil characters in the lore of Magic the Gathering.
that is the flip walker Bolas. I quite liked that card when it came out. I never did play with it because I did not pull it in a booster pack and I could not afford to buy it at the time. But I think that he would be quite a fun commander to build with the new cards. Not just for extra dragon synergy in your command zone to be an alternative dragon synergy. There's going to be a lot of dragon decks.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
so many.
I think that Nicol Bolas is a powerful card, and if you want to build him, you should do it. But I would urge more on the black and red cards than the blue cards. Not just because there's going to be more dragons in those colors, but because blue's dumb.
Hey, hey, blue is a great color. Lets you
What?
take extra turns. You get to tell people what to do on their turn. That's super fun. You get to sit there and play big krakens that go oogly boogly.
Oogly
You have
boogly.
listed one fun thing, and the rest are dumb.
I would, I think we're nearing about the end of our time
We're
here.
starting to
but,
get there. Yeah, we got some time.
I would love to hear what, if you have one, obviously, but what your favorite sets are, just from all of us. Because I don't know. I think I have a favorite. Mine is going to be super obvious though because of who I am.
The let me take a guess, Cameron.
Do it.
Is it the Fallout set, Cameron?
Yeah, dude, I have almost bought those decks again to use cards out of them because I didn't want to take the ones that are only Fallout apart,
Fair enough.
and I still might one day. I still might.
Makes sense. Steven, what are you as a special guest? What are some of your favorite sets?
Alan Kett will always hold a place in my heart as the new set when I started, and when Michael and I were playing Yu-Gi-Oh, that was we were playing with the cards that were ancient Egypt themed for Yu-Gi-Oh, like actually ancient Egypt themed, not just anime
Not
pretend ancient
Japanese
themed.
ancient Egypt.
Yeah. And Amonkhet was all ancient Egypt, so it was very familiar
Yeah.
ground to get back into a trading card game. Um, Throne of Eldraine is another one. I had kind of a bit of a lull in Magic where I didn't have a group to play with, but I still wanted to, and I wanted to get back into it. And I was at the time I was at the U of A, and I was taking an English course that was contemporary. What was it called? Case studies and research, and the topic was contemporary adaptations of classic fairy tales. So I was reading all these different versions of Beauty and the Beast, Snow White, Cinderella, all these different Bluebeard stories, a bunch of different fairy tales from different types of literature, different areas of the world, and comparing older adaptations. No one really knows where they started because everyone came up with very similar ideas all around the world.
Yeah.
Guess what? We're still people. But Throne of Eldraine came out at the same time, and I went to the store. I'm like, oh, I'll buy a pack from that. And I was finding subtle reference after subtle reference of these obscure fairy tale subversions that were just in this set because it was a fairy tale set, and it was so much fun, and I loved it. I was very excited when we went back for Wilds of Eldraine. I quite enjoyed that as well. My favorite, most recent set was Bloomborough. Fuzzy critters, woodland critters. It just felt like a real solid Magic set. I loved the aesthetic.
Bumbleflower is a piece of crap.
You saw Joel throw Bumbleflower up there. Bumbleflower is not anywhere near my regular strategy or my regular way of doing things. Doesn't even have both of my regular colors are missing. I love my Miss Bumbleflower deck. I have so much fun playing Miss Bumbleflower. She's a power wagon, and she's packing it all in that fluffy behind of hers. And I'm swinging that rabbit with all that fluff
Oh my word.
at your face. And
What are you gonna do with all that fluff? All that fluff.
Yeah. So I would say those are probably some of my favorite. Best card that's come out in a long time is the reason my mono black modern deck was so expensive. I bought 4 copies of Shield of the Apocalypse, and I put them all in there. Which was why I was looking for 4 copies of a legendary creature in a deck being a fantastic thing. Shelly is amazing. But she's not cheap. Dominaria United was a great set. I got a bunch of the guys in college into Magic. We did a draft in a cabin in the woods, up in the hills in Hinton country. to with Dominaria United. I packed a box into the woods and we did the draft in the cabins. It was a
Cool.
lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Childred's. Whoa. Over to you, Michael.
I love, like Steven was saying, Amon Ket, starting off with it. One of the ones that I was surprised by when I first moved to BC, Kaldheim. Kaldheim is a Norse-themed set that came out, and it had giants and dwarves and gnomes, and it also had a bunch of cards that were inspired by metal bands because Vikings are inherently metal. So there was a bunch of cards that had references to metal bands and metal songs, and as a huge metal fan, I enjoyed so much finding cards that had different like hidden lyrics to some of my favorite songs. It was awesome. I also enjoyed Wilds of Eldraine. That was a really fun, unique set that got introduced. And Lord of the Rings. It's really hard to go wrong with that Lord of the Rings set. I love Lord of the Rings. Throw a thumbs up in the chat if you want a Lord of the Rings episode. I'm ready. We just need to know when. But I loved the Lord of the Rings set. The cards were fun. The connections, it felt still like a Magic set. Just the way that they produced it into the game was awesome. Joel, what about you?
Oh, same. Like I have like these lovely full sets of like the Lord of the Rings art cards that I'm working on finishing at some point because the scene cards from Lord of the Rings are so nice. They're so beautiful. That was
Nice.
like I've really only been following Magic releases like Cam for about a little over a year now. We really started playing regularly a year ago, in March, April of last year is when we really started playing consistently. And so like not really like Lord of the Rings has been my favorite one because I'm a Lord of the Rings guy. Like it's everywhere in my apartment too, like dragons. So I'm literally looking forward to Tarkir because I think that might turn into one of my favorite sets.
Yeah.
My second favorite set would probably be just because I enjoy. It's really funny. I don't like horror movies, but I like that aspect of things. So Duskmourn, I love the Duskmourn cards. I love the Duskmourn art. It looks so good. I have the Valgavoth deck, and I love it. It's fun. So that would probably be my second favorite out of like recent releases because I've not gone backwards and looked at any of the past releases. Final Fantasy's coming up, and I'm like that one's pretty cool too. You know.
I also liked Modern Horizons 3.
Modern Horizons was good
bringing
too.
it back
yeah,
to
that was a good
any of the
one.
Modern Horizons, the Eldrazi's. There's a special place in my heart for Eldrazi's, though I hate playing against them.
So I know that we're really pushing time here, but who cares? That's what I'm gonna say.
yeah.
Basically, I just to finish us off, if you have a favorite card, and if you're in the chat, I would love to hear what you have too for your favorite card, but also favorite card type. And so, like, for myself, I think my favorite card type is artifact creatures. I just, first of all, I love the way that they work together if you build a deck out of them. But two, I just think they have such cool cards and card arts. Like Liberty Prime was sick. Cards like Walking Skyscraper, sick. From Aetherdrift, Mendicant Core Guidelight might be one of my favorite card arts.
That's a good.
I just think it's so cool. If anyone wants to buy me the full art, it's only like $5, and I really want it. Anyway, yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys.
I'll talk to Emma
as well.
Yeah, thinking about it. I got a big place in my heart for big stompy green creatures. That's the first deck I ever made with my buddy Sam was a green deck that just morphed into Eldrazi's, and it was just make big things go whomp. And one of my favorite cards in that color is Vigor. Vigor is one of the best cards in my opinion. It's 3 green, 3 colorless, 6 mana, and it comes in, man, and it's a wonderful, wonderful card. It means that whenever something would take damage, instead of taking damage, damage is reduced to 0, and it gets +1/+1 for every damage prevented this way. So it pretty much makes things untouchable in a lot of senses. Otherwise, in recent times, I have discovered the wonderful power of enchantments. Enchantments
Ooh.
have the opportunity to control the game. You don't even need an enchantment-based deck to find just how incredible enchantments can be. Fiery Emancipation, let's just triple all the damage. Let's send it out there. Rhystic Study, will you pay the one? Are you going to be a butt? I don't know. Or Sagas. Sagas came out in the Kaldheim thing, and I love the story aspect of it, which is really fun.
In Dominaria. But
Sorry,
they
Dominaria.
back in Caldman.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed it. What about you, Joel?
I see
The
this is-
actually moment.
actually. I think I'm kind of basic because I think this part of me is the fact that I grew up playing Pokemon and stuff. Creature cards are my favorite cards. Like I love creature cards. I love the art that comes with creature cards. I love some of the what do we call them? The bonus lines of text that get added at the bottom for some of the quotes and stuff.
Flavor text.
Yeah, the flavor text.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I just love creature cards. That being said, though. Okay, thanks, Tom. That was really loud in my ear. What was I doing? You made me lose track now. That being said, my favorite combination is not technically a creature card combination. It's actually an enchantment mixed with a sorcery mixed with a creature card. It's in my Sauron deck, thanks to Michael and a few other people. It is a combination of the Fall of Care Andros, which states whenever a creature an opponent controls is dealt excess non-combat damage, amass Orcs X, where X is at excess damage, and the card Too Greedily Too Deep, which is to put a creature card back from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. That creature deals damage equal to its power to each other creature. So with that combination alone, I got my Orc army in a game up to a 93-93.
Because they didn't have a counterspell.
Because they didn't have a counterspell. And it was such a fun moment when I realized that's what was happening. And my only goal, my winning goal, is to get that army up to 100-100. It'll happen someday, and I'm bound to make it happen someday. And that is the only goal for that deck, because I need to add some things to that deck to make it have better trample and stuff. But creature cards are my favorite cards. That is my favorite combination for sure.
What about you, Steve?
Oh man.
You had all
Yeah,
this time, buddy. What's up with that?
There's a lot of Magic cards out there.
You've played a lot of online Magic, I know.
I have. But I think two of my favorites are probably Lightning Bolt, as mentioned before, and Dark Ritual. The Boon Cycle from Alpha is just digging back in the lore for me. I like digging back in lore, you know. It's kind of cool. I like goblins. Goblins are really cool. This is just silly little guys. Don't worry about them. They're just silly little guys. But one of my favorite kinds of spell, I like to call the Lightning Bolt kind of spell. Joe can throw a slide of them up if he's got it. It's just
I do. It's right
just
there.
different versions of Lightning Bolt.
Yep.
Just Lightning Bolt, 1 red, deal 3 damage to target. Well, it's been errated to any target because the only targets there used to be were creatures and players. Now they have planeswalkers. But just spells that are 1 red, deal 3 to anything or to your opponent. Lava Spike's a good example. 3 damage to a target player, planeswalker. Skewer the Critics. While it looks like it costs 3, 2 in a red, you see there, it actually doesn't because of the spectacle ability. It costs 1 red if you've already cast a previous Lightning Bolt this turn. And I like seeing spells and saying, hey, that's actually just Lightning Bolt. Hey, that's actually just Lightning Bolt. Shock too. Shock's pretty fun. Shock's a more fair Lightning Bolt. It's only 2 damage. It's not 3 damage. So there are pioneers of format where Lightning Bolt is not legal, and I like to find ways to actually just sneak Lightning Bolt in there anyways, because it's Lightning Bolt. It makes my problems go away. I have a problem. I summon a bolt of lightning. And
Ride the lightning, suckers.
Problem solved.
Yeah. It's pretty sweet. And I hope for those of you guys who've been watching, maybe you know Magic, maybe you don't. There's so many different varieties. We all listed different sets that we liked, and every time somebody else listed a different set, we're like, oh yeah, I like that one. There's so much variety for you to play the style you like. You like to make this brooding mass of monsters that comes after people? Sure. You want to build one thing up big, go tall or go home? Hey, that's a strategy. You want to have different ways to control the game? You can 100% do that too. And there's all sorts of tribals if you want to play creature types and work synergy around it. We're hoping at some point here to play with the new precons for Dragonstorm. We're looking to do a Nitwits Let's Play, so hear back from that. But I guess really, we haven't hit the. I guess we did hit an hour and 20, but I do have one more question. I have one more question. Are we okay for one more
still
question?
got 5 minutes, technically speaking.
Sounds good.
I'm good.
I want to know, and this
Bring
is
it
really
on.
quick. We're just gonna go around. Each Nitwit and special guest Steve say the commander deck that you think is your favorite and your signature deck, and then we can have everybody else go, no, we think of you. We think of this deck when we think of you playing commander, because it's always fun just to see people be like, yeah, I'm definitely this kind of deck person, and everybody goes, no. But yeah, Cameron, you want to start us off? What deck is your signature deck?
I mean, it's hard to say, but probably the science deck. No, wait. Probably Mothman, realistically.
Yeah,
It's 100%
I 100% agree with you. I think of you. I think of Mothman.
Science is coming back for him. He has been playing more of the energy decks lately,
It's
but
true.
Mothman
It's
is his
true.
deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joel, what about yourself?
Oh, it's definitely my Sauron deck. Like, that's my deck. It's been a hot minute
sure.
since I played it because I'm enjoying the zombies deck and making it, trying to make it work right, until somebody counterspells me. But it's definitely my Sauron deck for sure.
I can see that.
I would 100% agree with that one. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the one that I see you whip out the most. And just like in the movies, the Dark Lord be darken. Edgy, emo, mega dude, scary. Hashtag counterspell.
Dark Lord be darken.
Yeah, Dark Lord be darkened, dog. With all of those things, thanks, Joel. I'm gonna have a counterspell. And the next time somebody says something, when we do a Nitwits Gloves Off, I'm whipping out a counterspell. I think that'd be hilarious.
What about you,
for
Michael?
me, lately I've been playing a wonderful guy named Jan Janssen. He's pretty fun. But I think when I think of like a deck that most people know me for, I think it's either my double turn deck featuring a wonderful Sphinx, or I think a lot of people know me with the Angel deck, but I could be wrong.
I think I've seen more other people play the Angel deck more than you've played the Angel deck.
Yes.
So
True.
I think for you, it's definitely the double turn one for me. I think that's the one you get the most excited about when you have the chance to play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, those
I
two definitely
totally
come
forgot.
to mind, but the double turn for sure, I feel like comes to mind a little bit
I was
higher.
gonna say
in the-
Tom Bomb.
I just received a text
The
that
other
said
one's
you're
the
an
Tom
idiot.
Bomb.
It's Tom Bomb.
Yeah.
I do have a Tom Bombadil deck, and I can see. Thank
That
you,
one is also up there.
anonymous texter. But yeah. What about you, Steve?
Well, I hate picking favorites, but I'll try. I'll try my best. I sent Joel a couple pictures of commanders that I play. The one that I'm most excited to play these days, it's one of my newer creations that I've put a lot of time into to try and find certain aspects where I'm lacking in my deck building, and then remedy those, is my Mahadi deck.
Which is
It's
right
the-
there.
He's a demon cat.
He's
and when
pretty
he
cool.
appears, I will read him. Mahadi, Emporium Master, welcome to the Wandering Emporium. Feel free to browse the bazaar. We have everything a lost soul could want, need, or afford. His thumbs are on backwards, though. If you look at the card, like, that's not where the
What?
thumb is supposed to be on that.
That's a creature from D&D. That's a creature from D&D. It's based off of a demon in D&D that disguises itself as a tiger, and it has backwards hands because that's the only way you know its intentions are backhanded towards all of humanity.
Ah.
Yeah.
Sorry, nerd outburst.
And he says, "No,
So
I'm glad you
actually,
said that."
Well, is that from the Commander's Legends set?
Yeah, it's from the Betrayal of Baldur's
Or-
Gate set.
yeah.
Yeah.
I told him I did a commander draft of that set with some friends in Edmonton, and I pulled him. I didn't use him as the commander, but he says at the beginning of your end step, create a treasure token for each creature that died this turn. And I'd always kind of wanted a treasure token deck, and I'd also wanted a sacrifice deck, and I'd wanted this deck, and I had piles for all these different decks I wanted to build, and I decided actually I'll just take Mahadi, who was going to be the treasure deck. He kind of does the sacrifice thing. He kind of does the tokens entering and leaving thing. I will clean up my random piles of cards I got all over the floor, make a deck, and it's going to be this deck because I had the Artillerist and Fireweave, Reckless Fireweave, a bunch of different cards that when treasures will enter are just going to slaughter my opponents. But that's probably not the deck I'm most known for.
I think of Majolta.
You think of Muldrotha? Well, I guess
do.
Muldrotha. Muldrotha was my first big consistent deck
Yeah.
that I don't know how I built it that good. Even looking back, I'm like, wow, I had a lot of foresight putting that in there. But Tourbrand,
That's another one.
is another one that I think of when I think of signature decks for me. It's a burn deck. It's mono red burn deck. I originally had it as a budget deck with some guys in college, and me and another guy did Magda, Brez, and Outlaw, and the two mono red players like hosed everyone else's janky budget deck. We felt kind of bad, but
I have counterspell.
my Tourbrand deck, I love playing that thing. It's mean. It's unnecessarily mean. I had one game with that deck where I had Mana Barbs on the field, as well as Spell Shock and Sulfuric Vortex and Tourbrand. Those cards don't have to mean a thing to you, but let's just say by one rotation of turns, every single player was in single digits of life, and very little damage had been dealt before that. It was okay, Steve needs to die now, and maybe someone wins. I said, boys, we're all dying together. And I burned everyone to death, including myself. There was no winner.
oh boy.
That's hilarious.
But and then Bumbleflower is another. Bumbleflower's really crept up in my play pattern, which is odd because Bant is not where I land at all. It's so different from everything else I've got. But I love playing that. I love playing that rabbit.
Yeah. Well, this is crazy, but folks, that was our first special guest. So thanks, Steve, for joining us. We really appreciate it, man. We hope to have you on more.
Yeah.
We're probably going to do some magic things that get posted up on the YouTube channel. Steve may or may not be in those. It all depends what kind of time we got. But if you guys really enjoyed that, if you guys really like that, let us know. But yeah, thanks so much for joining us. Joel, where can they find you?
Well, right here, as per usual. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, right. No, not right down up here. Yeah. Right here. Then usually my schedule is posted. Usually you can find me most weekdays from 10 a.m. PST to 2 p.m. PST time, right here, hanging out. And that's where I'm gonna be tomorrow. Probably doing. I don't know if I'm gonna do some more Subnautica. I might play some GameCube games tomorrow. We'll find out. And then Saturdays I'm usually here. And then that's pretty much it. Weekdays, for the most part, is where you can find me here, or you can find us on our socials, which let you see all the fun clips that we take from either me streaming or the podcast or whatever else.
Heck yeah.
You can join our Discord. Come chat with us when we're not doing this. That means you can bother us while we're at work. Doesn't mean we'll answer, but you can try. It's also where we do all of our group gaming. So there's a group that has a giant Minecraft realm running at the moment. We got a big group doing that. We play Repo. We play Among Us. So you should come join us. That's what you should do. But yeah, that's about it.
You bet. Well,
all of
thanks
you
for
should
joining
go
us,
like
guys.
the YouTube video when it's posted.
It's true.
It's true.
It'll probably be up
We want to
tomorrow.
put more stuff there, more funny little skits and stuff. So let us know. But thanks so much for joining us, guys, on this episode of Nerd and Nitwits.
Yeah.
Bye.
Oh, also,
See ya.
while we're rolling out here and we have our lovely little title screen happening, if you didn't hear it when we started, you should listen to this sneak peek we got for you. Let's play it again.
Are you ready? Are you set? 'Cause it's time to embrace the Nitwits!
Little teaser for our new intro music coming, brought to you by the Judge, the Noggin himself, and friends. Who else was involved with that one?
That one is just me, but there is a second one that we're working on that has our wonderful friend Isaac on guitar and Noggin doing a bunch of the production on it because he's better at computers than I am.
Nice. I hope you all enjoyed that. I hope you all have a good night. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So anyways, I was saying...
Now that we've moved to
No,
the
not this
nighttime
again.
cycle, I'm going to quickly transform all of my werewolves so
We
that
know
they
anyone
actually
that
have
could
3
animate
mana and they
an
can
intro
attack.
for us.
You
That's the real
can't do that because I cast a spell last turn, so it didn't actually flip tonight.
That's only if you're playing by those rules. Now it operates on a counter timer, and because I didn't play any spells on my last turn, I can transform them by paying extra mana.
I'm going to
Well,
tap
in
2 and
response,
counterspell.
I'm going to remove my
I
trousers.
cast 8 counter spells.